In this video, we'll be calculating the mean, median, and mode of three different sets of numbers using our calculator, but doing the work by hand. So first we're going to calculate the mean. That is what's typically called the average of numbers. And you'll see here, this first set, example A, all the numbers are already in order. That's good, because that's what we're usually going to want to do first. It'll come in handy in later examples. So how do you calculate the mean? You add up all the numbers you have, in this case 3 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8 plus 13 plus 14 plus 19, and you divide by however many numbers there are, in this case 7. We'll use a calculator to add those numbers up. 3 plus 6, 7, 8, 13, 14, and 19, and you get 70. Make sure to hit equals. You can do this all in one step, and you get 70 divided by 7, and of course the answer is 10. So in other words, the mean or average number is 10. But we have another measurement that we use to help tell us about data. It's called the median. Just like the median of a street, the middle of a street, the median is the middle number. So we can move down the sides to find the middle number. In this case is 8. We got a mean of 10 and a median of 8. What about the mode? The mode is a number that occurs the most. And so we look here for which number occurs the most. In fact, there are no numbers that reoccur. Anytime that you have a situation where not one number repeats at all, it doesn't mean a mode of 0, it means there's literally no mode. That's example A. Let's try example B. Smaller data set, there's only 6 numbers this time, but it's worth putting them in order now, and there isn't a great way to put them in order. You can just decide to go through. Sometimes I check them off, put a little dot under the 2 and the 3, and then I have 7, 7, 7. You might wonder too, why did you put them in order? It's pretty obvious to see with just 6 numbers. Yeah, but if you had 20, 30, 40 numbers, putting them in order is a good thing to do when you go to calculate the median. Let's see what happens here. First we'll calculate the mean. Just like before, we add up all the numbers, even the repeats, all the numbers, each piece, and divide by however many there are. In this case, there are 6. So let's do 2 plus 3 plus 7 plus 7 7 plus 18 equals, and we get 44. What's 44 divided by 6? 7.333 repeating. So the mean is 7.3 approximately, or I wrote 7.333 repeating. That's your average or your mean. What's the middle number? Well, it's a bit trickier here, because when you go and try and figure out the median, there isn't actually, here's why we rewrote it. It's all in order now. When we go and try and find the middle number, we find there's 2 middle numbers. And that's because there's an even number of items. That is, there is 6 or 8 or 10, etc. An even number of data points. So we're going to have to take these 2 middle ones and add them together and divide by 2. That is, whenever there's an even number of things we're trying to find the median of, we take the 2 middle ones and always divide by 2. In this case it's easy because they're both 7. We know what the answer is going to be. It's just 7. But you have to check, we're going to see in other examples, it becomes really important to make sure that you take the middle 2 numbers and divide by 2 to get the median. What's the mode? Again, that's a visual thing. It's something that we look at and see what occurs the most, and quite obviously the 7 repeats the most, so we say the mode is 7. For our last example, let's get those numbers in order first. 4 and a 4. Next is a 6. Oh, I better knock them off. 4 and a 6. Then a 7 and 2 12s. Oh, I didn't write that down quite right. 12 and a 12. Okay. Let's start by calculating the mean. The mean is just 4 plus 4 plus 6 plus 7 plus 12 plus 12 all over, how many things are there? There's 6. So we'll add them up on the calculator. 4 plus 6, 7 plus 12 plus 12. And we get 45. 45 divided by 6 is 7.5. So we have an average in this data set of 7.5. Here's an example of what I was saying earlier about making sure you take the middle 2 numbers for median. The middle 2 numbers are 6 and 7, so the median is going to be the middle of 6 and 7, the middle of these middle two. We find it by adding them together and dividing by 2. 6 plus 7 is just 13. 13 divided by 2 is 6.5. So we have a mean of 7.5, but a middle of 6.5, and finally the mode. Which number occurs the most? Well, it turns out here we have a tie. There are 2 4s and 2 12s. In event of a tie, you list all the top tying numbers. So the mode in this case is 4 and 12. And that's how you do mean, median, and mode by hand and using a regular calculator.